Yo, what you lot saying? It's your boy here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Formula E 2017 Beunos Aires EPrix, and yeah, let's jump into it. So the main news surrounding the Formula E scene was the introduction to robo racing. We had a glimpse of it during Formula E events, and we had some during test sessions in Darlington as well. And people may ask, Jabba, what do you think about this? I feel as though the robo racing is going to be a very unique style of racing, something that we've never seen before, to be honest, but I think at the same time sort of on the wrong side of it, to be honest, because I know it's going to be great seeing all these robo stuff, you know, racing around. I know that's the reason why we had robot wars as well, but I feel like honestly from myself, I think it would just be boring. I'm not saying the racing would be boring, because I feel like there would be a lot of racing, but I feel like in terms of, you know, the sort of human aspects of racing, which makes motorsport into what it is, just feels a lot better than just, you know, a couple of AIs just racing around and not making any mistakes, because I feel like that's what it's going to become, sort of like AI cars, to be honest, and we don't really want that. I really want to see in motorsport, you know, the purists, the best drivers going out there, throwing the cars around, and sometimes maybe even making a couple of mistakes, you know, as they're pushing the limits. So yeah, I feel it's good, it's unique, but I feel like it wouldn't work for, you know, casual fans and, you know, fans who want to see good action, to be honest. So with that being said, we'll move on into practice. During practice we saw lots of action going on the track, particularly with cars spinning out in the likes of Loic Duval and Stefan Saracen, but one driver who made a big hash of it and actually pretty much broke the gearbox pretty much, and was forced to start from the back of the grid was Antonio Felix da Costa. Going into one of the corners at the back end of the track, he made a big spin, hit the wall very hard, and that was it. And I believe that Antonio did break his gearbox, which meant that he would have to start from the back of the grid, unfortunately. A massive shame for him, especially as it was a mistake, but at the end of the day, that's racing. Sometimes you get away with a mistake like that, sometimes you don't, and sometimes it could really cost you a lot. So yeah, that's just the nature of racing. And then as soon as we got into qualifying, the mistakes and all started to materialise as everyone started to settle down and get used to the track. But one man who didn't get used to the circuit and was a real surprise in the session was Sam Bird, the dark horse for this race and last year's winner, of course. He wasn't quick enough and really struggled to get to grips with his Virgin E car, and as a result would start from 10th on the grid, way below the pole shootout times, of course. So a real surprise, especially from a dark horse like Sam Bird. His teammate, however, who is Jose Maria Lopez, the local boy who was racing at his home in Argentina, he didn't really have a good day, to be honest. He kind of spun and hit the wall a couple of times, and as a result he would end up right to the back, which is so unfortunate. Then afterwards we'd have a bit more as well. We even had a crash as well in the likes of Antonio Felix da Costa, who presumed was to start from the back, managed to get a second car and managed to keep going in qualifying, but unfortunately he would crash that, and that would be it for him. Not a very good day for Antonio Felix da Costa as well. So by the end of it, the 5 drivers who did manage to get through into Superpole were Lucas di Grassi, Jean-Eric Vergne, Sebastian Buemi, Nelson Piquet and Oliver Turvey. So the 2 Next TV China cars managed to get them through into Superpole, which was very nice to see, of course. And during Superpole it was very close, really close. In fact, there were a few mistakes by a couple of drivers that pretty much screwed their chances of getting pole position. One was Sebastian Buemi, who locked up going into the final part of the lap, which cost him that time that he needed to get pole position. Same with Jean-Eric Vergne, he locked up on a couple of corners, and that would cost him as well, which meant that Lucas di Grassi would take pole position for the Formula E Beunos Aires EP. A fantastic lap. I think it was a 109.757, which was a fantastic lap. Really stunning, of course, from the Brazilian. So moving on into the race, it was a very good start from Lucas di Grassi, who made a blinding start ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne behind and Sebastian Buemi in third, of course. But sadly, not everyone would get away, as Adam Carroll in the Jaguar unfortunately would grind to the halt at the start of the race, which meant that the full course yellow was deployed for a couple of laps, and then afterwards it was put away and we went back to green flag racing with Lucas di Grassi ahead from Jean-Eric Vergne in second and Sebastian Buemi in third. Then come lap 3, Jean-Eric Vergne would make his move for the lead of the race, going into the corner before the hairpin. A very decisive move from Jean-Eric Vergne, had the momentum, had the power to use to dive and lunge down the inside of Lucas di Grassi. And then a few corners later we saw Sebastian Buemi do the same thing to Lucas di Grassi. And yeah, a bit strange from Lucas di Grassi. You don't know whether he was saving his fuel or was just really struggling in terms of pace during the race, of course. So yeah, a bit strange from Lucas, the fact that he would drop to third from first in one lap. So then afterwards it was Prost's go to make some gains, as he would pass both Next TV China cars of PK and Turvey, of course, to move off into fourth place. And pretty much that's where he would finish, pretty much, because he didn't make any inroads on the top 3, considering that they were all in a league of their own, to be honest. So a very solid drive from Prost, of course, to at least get ahead of the Next TV China cars and score fourth. You know, it's not too bad. A very sort of solid job by the French driver. And then finally, Buemi made his move on Jean-Eric Vergne to take the lead of the race. He would make a very good lunge down the inside, going into turn 1, and would then just pull off and drive into the distance from the lead of the race, of course. A very controlled and very organised move. He'd been planning that for quite a while, to be honest, so the fact that he would get the job done on lap 7 of the race was very, very good of him. And yeah, he would then go on and take the lead of the race, of course. But then misery struck for Sam Bird, who would pretty much slow to pretty much a crawl, as he had some sort of like suspension damage. I'm not sure, to be honest, but anyways, I think he would then go into the pits, and he would then drop to being a lap down, of course. So very unfortunate for Sam Bird, the last year's winner, of course, and the dark horse for this race, of course. So very, very unfortunate. Yeah, just unfortunate for the young Brit, of course. And then by lap 15, lap 16, we saw some pit stops being made, of course. But as the pit stops were being made, there was a little bit of controversy, a little bit of drama going on between Lucas di Grassi and someone else. I think it might have been Oliver Turvey. Basically, the Apt guys released di Grassi, and as he was coming out, almost collided into Oliver Turvey behind. And people are wondering what's my opinion on this, and people are actually arguing, saying that, oh, this is unsafe and all that. In my opinion, I have to agree, because it is very, very unsafe, and especially of how close it was to both di Grassi and Turvey. The fact that they almost collided and did like a manner and a half last year was very, very scary indeed, especially as they were going at full chat very, very fast indeed. So yeah, very, very scary indeed. And thankfully there was no collisions between di Grassi and Turvey, of course, but I think, in my opinion, I think there should have been a penalty for it, because it was very close and dangerous as well at the same time. And then further back we had some more crazy action in terms of the battle for 10th place, presumably, with the likes of Heidfeld, Apt, Frins, Lopez and Acosta. And let me tell you this is a great battle. It started off with Heidfeld going down the inside. I believe it was Stefan Sarazan, and then again I believe it was Frins as well. So he would then move up into 11th, which would be good for him. Very good overtakes by Heidfeld, of course, using that experience, of course, and using the speed that he has had got in that battle, of course. And then with Lopez again, you know, timing his moves so well, especially on Sarazan, coming out of that final corner, getting a great exit, and then making a move, going into turn 1 again. And then also as well on the inside and defending on Sarazan as well, as he made that comeback to overtake Lopez again, sort of pushing him off, well, not forcing him off, but just like sort of pushing him, like, respectively off the road going into the hairpin section, of course. So very good driving and very good battlings going on, particularly down the midfield pack for 10th and I think it was 10th place, yeah. And by the latter part of the race, we saw a sort of emerging battle reforming in the form of Beuno and Vern, as Vern was trying to catch and pass Beuno to retake the lead of the race. You know, Vern was taking probably like a tenth or two out of Beuno's lead, and the gap had dropped from about 3.2 to about 2.9. But unfortunately it would not be good enough. He would only just like gain like a tenth or two, whatever, and then Beuno would do the same, gain a tenth or two on Vern as well. So it really wasn't enough, and in the end it was Beuno who would pretty much defend from the attack from Vern behind and take the win. A very commanding win, his third win in a row this season. A fantastic job. The first time as well that a driver's won 3 in a row in Formula E, of course. So a fantastic job by Sebastian Beuno. He controlled the race ever since the lights went out. He would overtake Di Grassi and Vern quite beautifully and quite cleanly to then go on and dominate that race in such dominant fashion to then win the race. So yeah, a very good race. And yeah, a very masterful drive from Beuno, of course, the championship leader, who leads by its enormous amount from I don't know who's second. I think it's Lucas Di Grassi who's in second. So yeah, a very comfortable drive by Beuno, and as a result it extends his championship lead. Second place went to Jeroen Vern. A good drive by him, of course. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to close up on Sebastian Beuno during the final couple of laps and really challenge for that lead of the race, but whatever, a very good result, a solid result for Jeroen Vern, more points towards his championship chances. Rounding off the podium was Lucas Di Grassi, a race of what if, to be honest, because he led the race at the start, but then afterwards got swamped by Jeroen Vern, and then afterwards by Beuno, of course. So yeah, a very disappointing race indeed. You know, he could have literally won that race, but I don't know what it was. I think it might have been the pace, to be honest. It pretty much let him down, and yeah, he as a result finished in third place. So unfortunate, to be honest. And also as well, to add on that, the whole incident in the pit lane, you know what I stand on this. I feel like it was a very dangerous manoeuvre and very unsafe from the App team, of course, considering that Turvey had to back off as well too. So yeah, a very unsafe release, of course. I'm surprised that he didn't get a penalty for this. I know, I'm sorry, I'm being harsh on him, but that's just how I feel on this, to be honest. Also, quick honourable mentions goes to Jose Maria Lopez, who finished 10th place to get himself a point. Very good drive by him. He made some really daring manoeuvres on so many drivers, of course, and yeah, it got him a point, of course. And it really denied as well a disappointment towards Jaguar Mitch Evans, as he would be denied via Jose Maria Lopez of a point, of course, which was very sad, especially as Jaguar are trying to get their they're trying to get points. They're at their first points in Formula E, of course. So for them to be so close and now to be denied in that race was so unfortunate, and hopefully, let's fingers crossed, they do finally get their first points soon enough. So that is it, guys. That has been the Formula E 2017 Beunos Aires EPrix review for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below on what you thought about the race, and yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. I'm out. Peace. Happy